Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Xaunneka and today we are going to be doing a Yin Yoga sequence for the side body. So really targeting everything in the side body, including all the way up to your lats, your outer hips, your QL, your IT band, and a little bit of the inner groin just to even us out and balance us out. So for this practice, you will need a pillow or a bolster. So if you are using a pillow, try and get a pillow that is hard, something that can bear your weight and you're not going to be sinking into it. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. We'll start with our first side body posture. You're going to come and lay all the way onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, you're going to bring your right hand beside your right hip and you're going to cactus your left arm so your left fingertips are pointing towards the top of the mat. You're going to push through your right hand and roll over onto your left side. You're going to stack your feet one on top of the other and then go ahead and you might need to walk your left hand in just a little bit. So the idea here is that you're looking to lift up into the chest, and on the exhale, allow the rib cage to sink towards the mat and the shoulder to lift. You'll feel a nice pull, nice stretch in the outer left side of the body. Spidering the fingertips in front of you. You can also rest your ear on your shoulder. You really want to think about bringing the breath right up into the rib cage. Also, if it's too much to have both legs stacked one on top of the other, you can also drop the front knee down a little bit. Notice if you've begun to sink back, lifting the chest up. It's almost as if you're trying to draw the chest towards the top of your mat. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Really thinking about pulling the breath all the way up underneath your armpit. Inhale. And exhale, release. One more just like that. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Opening the eyes. So just spider your right fingertips out in front of you. Extend your left arm out, up above, and just roll onto your back. Keeping the left arm up above you, keeping the knees bent, just hanging out here for a moment before we move on. So let's go ahead and continue. With your left arm up above, draw your knees in towards your chest and drop both knees over to the right. You're then going to take your right hand and place it on top of the left knee. With the left arm up above, you're gently going to pull it down into a cactus position. So you can really feel the left shoulder blade plant and ground into the mat. You can gaze towards the ceiling or looking over the left shoulder. So just keeping in mind that in any twist, the higher up your knees are, the more you're going to feel the twist in the thoracic or mid-back. The lower the knees, the more the stretch or the rotation goes into your lumbar spine. And our low back, our lumbar spine is already quite flexible. So maybe thinking about drawing the knees a little higher up. Last few breaths before we transition. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And side out. One more inhale. And exhale. So taking the left arm that's cactused out beside you, you're going to straighten it again. Roll over onto your side. Push down into your left hand and push up with the right. So you want to leave your knees bent just the way they are. And this is where you would use your pillow or your bolster. So if you're using your bolster or your pillow, you're just going to snuggle it in right at your hip crease. And then you're just going to lay over or fold over so that you get a nice rotation here and you can turn your gaze in the opposite direction. If you're looking to go a little bit deeper and you do not want to use your pillow or the bolster, same idea. You're going to straighten your right arm and weave your left hand underneath. Palm is facing up. You're then going to bring your left shoulder to the mat, keeping your right forearm bent, or you can place your head on your right hand. So it might feel a little like, what am I doing at this point? But the longer you're in this position, the more comfortable and at ease you begin to feel. Nice deep breaths. Thinking about drawing that left shoulder away from the ear. Last few breaths here. Notice how far you've come in the pose. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and push firmly into that right hand. Push into the forearm. Unravel. Bring the left arm out from underneath you. Take your right hand. Bring it underneath the left. Right shoulder comes to the floor. And roll back on to your back. Just taking a few moments here. Always appreciating those pulsations, rush of energy. So we'll go ahead now and do all of that on the other side, rolling over to one side and pushing yourself up. So I'm just going to switch directions and go this way so that you can still see me. So let's go ahead and lay onto our bellies. You're going to bring your right arm out in front of you and your left palm by your left hip. Push into your left hand, roll over onto your right side, and maybe bring your right arm in just a little bit. You can stack your feet one on top of the other or bring one foot in front of the other if that feels more comfortable. Spider your left fingertips in front of you and slight bend in the elbow. Inhale here, reach the chest towards the top of the mat, and exhale to sink. You can bring your ear to your shoulder. Just making sure you're not sticking out your bum or sinking back. You're looking to come up. So the chest is coming up and towards the top of the mat. Feeling a nice pull through the right side body. Taking that breath all the way up into the chest with every inhale. Let's do one like that together. Nice big inhale all the way up into the chest. And on the exhale, allow the rib cage to drop. The hip sinks and the shoulder lifts. Last few breaths here. take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Really feel the breath come up into the chest. And exhale. Again, inhale. Feel the breath come all the way up into the armpit. And exhale. Go ahead and spider your left fingertips in front of you. Extend your right arm up above and come onto your back. And just hang out here for a moment. Let's go ahead and continue bending the knees. Drawing your knees in towards your chest. This time dropping the knees over towards the left. Taking the right hand and placing it, the left hand and placing it on top of the right knee. You're then going to bring the arm that's up above and bend it into a goalpost or cactus arm. Really feeling the right shoulder blade ground down onto the mat. You can gaze over your right shoulder. Last few breaths here before we transition. Last 2 breaths, a nice big inhale. And side out. One more inhale. And exhale. So release the grip on the knee. I'm going to roll over. So bring the left arm up above, bring the right arm, roll over to the side. Leave your knees where they are and push yourself up. So again, this is where you will take your pillow or your bolster if you used it on the other side. Go ahead, you are going to weave your right arm underneath the left. Bring your left forearm down onto the mat and bring your right temple to the mat. You can always place your temple on top of your left hand. Nice deep breaths. Last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently opening the eyes, push into your left hand, lift the forearm, unravel your right arm from underneath you. Push into your right hand this time, weave your left arm underneath you, and roll onto your back. Just finding a moment here. Maybe you shimmy your hips from side to side. So we're going to come into our last posture, which is frog pose. So let's go ahead, roll over onto our sides, and push ourselves up. So for this one, you may or may not want to use your pillow or your block. I'm going to use my block for this one. Coming on to all fours, tabletop position. Go ahead and open your knees up as wide as they can comfortably go for you. And if you need, you might need to maybe cushion your knees with your pillows if you decide that you're not going to use it in front of you. Flex your feet so that your feet are pointing in the same direction as your knees. So the intention here is to not just come down. What you want to do is send your hips behind you first, then come onto your forearms. So there's always, you want to think of it as a wall of resistance. You're pushing against an imaginary wall. You would then bring the block underneath you and allow the belly to rest. So by pushing into the forearms, you're able to push back slightly into that wall of tension. Again, always remembering to push back. Notice if you're gripping. You tend to grip or squeeze the inner thighs. Just allowing them to soften. Last few breaths. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. Again, inhale. And exhale. So go ahead and remove the block if you had it there or the pillow. You're just going to inchworm your forearms forward and gently bring your belly and torso back onto the mat. Leaving your legs nice and wide. Stack palm on palm. Just let the forehead rest here. You can shimmy your hips from side to side. And then when you're comfortable, just drawing the legs closed and coming onto our backs. Just taking a few hip circles here. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Just making small circles on the ceiling in one direction. And switching directions. And go ahead and just rock from side to side here. Releasing the grip, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Extending your legs out wide for your Shavasana. always taking a moment to show yourself some gratitude for showing up to practice, taking time out for yourself, your well-being. Slowly now, beginning to call ourselves back, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the ankles and the wrists. Take a nice big inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Reach, 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 reach. And release, allow everything to drop heavy. Bend the knees, rolling over onto your side. You can cradle the head and the arm. Let's go ahead and push ourselves up to a seat. With the eyes closed, finding a comfortable seated position. Take a final breath, nice big inhale. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Gently opening the eyes. Yogis, I hope you enjoyed this side body Yin Yoga practice. If you like the class, of course, always give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, leave a comment and let me know how you like the class, and share it with your friends and family. That's it. I have nothing left to say, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.